our experience, we will deal with it. If there are lessons to be learned, we will learn it. If there are amendments for us to make in our plans in adjustment of the road and the exit from the traversing from one side of the bridge to the other, we will learn from that and we will incorporate the things that we've learned from that.
The work on the bridge started with workers digging and excavating the marked out sites with jackhammers and blowers, while the robot carried out controlled hydro-demolition of the joints and parapets. Welders were fabricating tension rods and new expansion joints. The removal of the first expansion joint was quite challenging. They had to work under close supervision by engineers to ensure that the old tension rods were not damaged and the screw holes on the mother slab of the bridge were not blocked or cracked. The engineers later showed the welders the bolts to unscrew and the rods to cut. It was a rather slow and careful exercise, but within the first week, the work was ready for the tension rods to be fixed and the new expansion joints to be laid. Gianfranco Albertazzi, Managing Director of Barini Prono, explains the processes.
And you prepare the place for the robot to come and demolish the concrete. This type of demolition is a demolition that uses the power of water at 1,400 bars, very, very high pressure. You have seen over there the kind of effect that this has on the concrete. And you see how the steel now shines, even though is a steel of 40 years ago. It cuts very precisely. It does not cut more, it does not cut less, but very, very precisely. Now, the removal of the joint. All right, there are two. Is a male and female joint. Okay? Having demolished by disgregating all the concrete like this, you take the crane, you lift up this once, and you lift off the central one, and then outside, you might have seen down there, we have a lot of steel sections. These steel sections have to be coupled together. And once you have coupled them together, one side and the other side, you will then come with a crane to lower it down here. This section is then linked to the existing structure by way of some heavy bars which are protruding from outside, from down below, and from bars which are like hooks connecting the joint to the side here.
After the old expansion joint has been removed and the new one fixed, the next step was casting. For this to happen, the bridge had to be closed to traffic for 2 days to allow the casted joints to dry up. The bridge closure was necessary as vibrations of the bridge occasioned by traffic would compromise the casted joints. The bridge was closed for casting 3 times within the repair period. After that, the engineers will start the process of tensioning the casted joints to make it sturdy enough to withstand the weight and speed of vehicles that will drive over it. What most people could see was the work on the bridge, but while that was going on, another work crew was busy under the bridge at the abutment, doing the delicate work of removing the old bearings and replacing them with new ones. This was done on all the bearings on both sides of the bridge abutment. As work progressed, several professional groups and associations visited the bridge. While some came to inspect the work being done, others came as study groups to have practical experience of how the work was done. The first to arrive was a team from the Department of Bridges of the Federal Ministry of Works and Housing, led by engineer Ekong Bassi. Theirs was an inspection visit, and they were very thorough in doing this. They asked several questions and demanded explanations to several decisions taken. This team visited again before the job was completed. The Nigerian Institute of Civil Engineers, NICE, was next. They came to see what methods were employed by the contractors to tackle the problem at hand. The National Association of Engineering Students came on a study visit. As expected, they had a lot of questions to ask. An official of Borini Prono was there to answer their questions. The Honorable Minister for Works and Housing, Mr. Babatunde Fashola SAN, was at the bridge on 3 different occasions to see for himself the progress of work and to ensure that the contractors had no problems getting the job done on schedule.
This is one of over 50 bridges that are receiving national maintenance, repair, refurbishment across the country in conformity with the National Infrastructure Maintenance Program and the National Infrastructure Renewal, Expansion and Development Program, which has been a focus of the Muhammadu Buhari administration.
We assure them that when the work is done, we'll have a very fully functional, very safe bridge that should last us for a pretty long time, at least maybe 25 to 30 years before we do any other major or minor repairs on it. So far the work is impressive, the quality is high, and we are here to ensure that all standards are maintained.
With what I've seen, finger joints, which are the most difficult, have been done, and these are strips joints, which they post tension at the end. I believe they will get it done. Maybe by December they're done, even before the January date.
When work was done on the Oworoshoki-bound side of the bridge and workers moved to the island-bound side, traffic was redirected. Traffic from the mainland was to drive up to Adekunle and make a detour to the left to go into the Oworoshoki side of the bridge, and then make another detour to the right at the Adeniji end of the bridge to complete their journey. Traffic from the island just drove straight to Oworoshoki. Work on the island-bound side of the bridge was quite fast owing to the experience gathered while working on the other side of the bridge. However, this side of the bridge had the longest expansion joint, which is 28 meters long. Fixing the new expansion joint on this one was quite technical, as 2 normal-sized joints were fixed on the 2 extremes and a third one in the middle. After fixing all the expansion joints on the island-bound side of the bridge, the contractors had 1 more expansion joint to fix on the Oworoshoki-bound side, about 1.5 kilometers from the old site. This, of course, meant that traffic had to be redirected again. The repair works on the 3rd Mainland Bridge provided direct and indirect employment for a number of Nigerians. A great number of bags of special cement, iron rods and bars, granite, sand, diesel and water were supplied. Food vendors and hawkers made brisk business, which impacted positively on their finances. Though the original deadline of January 24, 2021 for the completion of the job could not be met due to circumstances beyond the contractor's control, all the 14 faulty expansion joints and 2 at the abutment of the 3rd Mainland Bridge have been fixed. The bearings under the bridge have been replaced with new ones and the beams have been checked and fixed. The repair work on the 3rd Mainland Bridge is part of the bridge rehabilitation program covering all the bridges in Nigeria. This is an initiative of the Muhammadu Buhari administration being carried out by the Federal Ministry of Works and Housing. The bridge has been given a new lease of life and will need this kind of major repair work in 40 years' time. The contractors finally finished the work on the bridge and handed it over on the 27th of February 2021.
Okay, we have 37 as at the last count of bridge repairs, bridge maintenance, bridge rehabilitation. We have the Koto Cafe Bridge, the way to Lokoja. We have the Murtala Mohammed Bridge, also under repairs and maintenance. We have done the Tatabu Bridge in Niger, on the way to Ilorin Jeba. There's the bridge in Kano, Tamburawa, where erosion of the path So has required us to intervene. We are reconstructing now. We just awarded that the Lantern was a bridge that collapsed, an old mortar brick bridge built by the colonialists. We are replacing that. This is going on a very, very expensive scale. And we intend to continue to bring those assets back into more efficient use.
It is, however, instructive to note that vibrations of the third mainland bridge does not mean that the bridge is faulty. Long bridges of this nature are actually designed to vibrate. That is why they have clearance between slabs at the expansion joints and bearings at the abutment. Bridges of this nature and design are said to be faulty when the expansion joints, bearings and the beams are compromised, and this was the focus of the repair work done on the third mainland bridge. The Honorable Minister of Works and Housing, Mr. Babatunde Fashola SAN, in a tweet and followed by a press statement from the ministry, thanked the President, the Federal Executive Council, the Lagos State Government for their cooperation and the people of Lagos for their patience, while officially informing Nigerians that the bridge was now open to traffic. The Director of Bridges and Design, Engineer Emmanuel Adeoye, and the Federal Controller of Works, Lagos State, Engineer Kayode Popoola, with other officials of the ministry, in a press event on the bridge, also announced the opening of the bridge to traffic.
It is very durable, and that's why we are taking the pains since July, that's why we've been working on it to make sure that it's good for use. And we have gone around, we've checked, we have found out that it's okay.
And I'm using this opportunity to express our gratitude on behalf of the Honorable Minister of Works, Mr. Babatunde Fashola, to our whole state, that's a Lagos State, in particular, His Excellency, the Governor of Lagos State, Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu, for his unusual cooperation while the work is going on. The Commissioner for Transportation, the SA Works, LASMA, they have all made a useful contribution towards the completion of this project.
The bridge is not much shaking like before. When you are driving, the thing will be shaking. You will feel as if, the bridge want to collapse. There's a lot of difference now. We can see changes that this government is doing well, the federal government is doing well. We appreciate their work. They should do more.
Bad distress we've been facing on this third mainland bridge. If I was told that in my dream that third mainland bridge will once be like this, I would say it's a lie. But it has come to reality. Now the government has shown us the change. In short, it's fantastic. They have done very, very, very good. I appreciate the change. And this is the change that we are expecting. Please, I will beg and pray for them for long life to do more of this. Thank you so much.